I was about 7 years old, and my parents let me know that I had a bone disease, and they said some people call it brittle bones, some people call it glass bones, but it actually has a name, osteogenesis imperfecti, which in Latin means imperfect bones. Several times a year, I was breaking another bone, and I didn't have to do much to break a bone either. I did not have a personal relationship with God. And one of the reasons I didn't was because I deliberately set myself to oppose God. And I think it was because of well-meaning Christians. They would come and go, oh, you must be so special to God, you know, if he would do this to you. Every time somebody would say that, I think there was a natural tendency that you would blame God. And you go, you know, if this is the loving one that I'm supposed to trust, I don't really trust him. When I was 10 years old, my mom said the Lord had really encouraged her heart that he was going to heal me. But I continued to break bones, and the years passed, and I could not understand, well, if God was going to, why didn't he get on with it? My idea of being healed was I wouldn't have to sit in the wheelchair anymore. I knew that God was speaking to me, and he was trying to cut right through my fake, tough exterior, because he knew my heart was tender and that I wanted to love him. But really, it was other people coming alongside, showing me the love of God, and it just wooed me right into the kingdom of God. And because my mom had invested so much in me, it was already there. So once that was applied to my life, I grew very quickly in the things of the Lord. One night we had a Bible study in our home, and this missionary from Mexico came, and he saw me kind of hobbling around, and he came up to me and he says, Jesus would like to heal you now. And there was something so strong and tangible that hope leapt on the inside of me. I mean, it almost choked me. It was just so overwhelming a presence. I just said, I'd like some of that. You know, I want that. And would you pray over me? And it was already late in the evening, and he wasn't being ungracious, but he said, you know, he says, next time I see you, we'll do it. And for me, it was so hard to handle that night. In all those years, I had never had such tangible hope in my life. But it was a turning point because it was so real to me. I started searching the scriptures. I started feeding myself on the healing testimonies of Jesus and the early church in the book of Acts, and something began to happen. I began, when I would break a bone, I was still breaking bones, I had over 100 breaks at this time. I would pray over it and the bones would get healed faster. And so I went from maybe 12 weeks to 10 weeks, to 8 weeks, to 6 weeks, still breaking bones, but they were getting healed a lot faster. And then I noticed something else. The duration between the times of breaking bones was starting to get longer also. And to me, I mean, if you would have asked me at that point in my life, I thought I'd received my healing. I thought, this must be what healing is, because I'd never known anything else. My problem wasn't the breaks, that was the fruit of the bone disease. What I needed healed from was the bone disease itself. But that always looked so big to me, and it was always such a major part of my life. Somehow I just didn't comprehend it. But when I came to that place that it only took 2 hours to see a bone healed, I thought, where do you go from here? You get healed of the bone disease. I was ready, and I mean, my faith was turned in that direction. And shortly after that, I fell and broke my pelvic in 3 places. And here I have 3 little babies. I'm pastoring. I can't take care of myself. I can't take care of my kids. And so I go to my mom's house. I'm staying in my childhood bedroom, you know, thinking, Lord, what am I going to do? And for the first time, I realized this: healed people don't sit in wheelchairs. It was just like it was, it was just like it was fresh revelation. And I noticed at that point the power of God was rising up so strong in me as I was contemplating that. And I don't know how well I thought this out or anything else, but I stood up. And I can be honest with you, when I stood up, it was excruciating pain. But I stood up and I folded up that wheelchair. And I remember saying in the room, God, healed people don't sit in wheelchairs. And I really do believe that you've healed me. And within moments, all the pain was gone. And I was able to walk up and down the hallway. And so I convinced my mom to take me back to the doctors and take another x-ray. It was as if the breaks had never been there. They didn't show up on my body. They were gone forever. And I knew that This time, I wasn't healed just from a break. This time I was healed from the bone disease. And that was 29 years ago. And I have not been plagued with that bone disease since. You know, we get used to certain areas of confinement and limitation on our lives, and those become our accepted norm. And we break out of those, and then we move forward, and you just realize that God's ready, but sometimes He's getting us ready. God spent my life proving to me how real He was, and I'd like to spend the rest of my life proving to others how real He is.